Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother ISRAELITES from the Northern Kingdom, bringing some edification for you Negro, Latino, and Indigenous who are the biblical Israelites. Before I start, I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, Rakakadash, that Yahweh, being the name of the Lord, not Jehovah, or God, or Yah, or Ahaya, it's Yahweh, the creator of all the Ancient of Days. Bahasham is in the name of, and Yahweh Shai is the one you guys call Jesus or the Christ, singularly speaking. And we give double honors to elders in GMS where we learn this truth. Shalom to the apostles, the bishops, and to the men down on the highways and byways. Give it the 100% truth day and night. Shalom to you and your households. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, La Bakar in the Hebrew, the house of David that's being built up once again. Shalom to you. And shalom to the speckled birds among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations, but return to the house of Israel and are being edified by these videos. Shalom to you. The day today is June 20th of 2025. Our hopeful year of salvation and the destruction of the nation of Edom. If you've been paying attention to the news, you should be seeing the World War III has started. Okay, and we speak about this, but this is serious. This could bring in the other big allies, like the UN, the EU, the United States, and Russia, and China, and all this. Okay, because this is maybe sound like a skirmish, but when two major countries are throwing missiles at each other, it's no longer a game. Okay, let me see if I have that lined up. Yeah, here it is. Salaki brothers. So I'm not going to read the article, but just so you know what's going on. Iran-Israel conflict. Trump says Iran's capital should evacuate immediately. Basically, he's making threats. Okay? And like I said, this is not super like yesterday or the day before. This is maybe a week old. But again, the insults are coming. Full strike. These are nations calling each other names and calling each other out. These are nations that are superpowers that have nuclear capabilities. Okay? So again, we are there. We're at that point that we've been saying that the elders have been telling, that our teachers and their teachers' teachers have been telling us. The days of Joel, right? Because the prophets were never wrong. You have to understand that the Lord has to get vengeance. Okay? Because the things that are happening is because the Lord wants them to happen. Because a lot of people might say, let's pray that God, that this doesn't happen. Well, it's happening because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is allowing it to happen, and biblical prophecy has to be unfolded. So let's read that and get some understanding why these events are happening. Because things don't just happen. The Lord explains why they're going to do what they're going to do. Okay, the prophets are the mouthpiece of the Lord. So let's see what the prophet Isaiah is saying about these things. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. Okay, so everybody's better pay attention, because this is being broadcasted for every individual on the planet Earth. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations. Okay? Righteous hatred. And his fury upon all their armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. So he's explaining what's going to happen in the future time of these end times. That he's going to slaughter all the major armies of the world. Okay? Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains, which we're talking about governments, right, shall be melted with their blood. Okay? So they're showing you how many dead bodies upon dead bodies is going to happen. Okay? And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. So what is that talking about? Remember, Isaiah is seeing the final days, and what is he explaining here? And the host of heaven, okay, be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. What is he talking about? What you would call today a nuclear mushroom. Okay, he is using the terminology he has to explain an event he doesn't know what it's called. Okay, we now here in 2025 would call this a nuclear explosion or a mushroom effect, right? First created during the 1940s for World War II. And this is what the prophet Isaiah is seeing. He's seeing like a scroll unrolling, which is that mushroom effect where that bomb detonates and creates this effect. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. Okay, everything's going to melt because of this nuclear fission. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, right? There's going to be that fire that everybody's going to be able to see that's going to reach up to the stratosphere. And all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Okay? If you ever seen figs fall, they look like the old World War II bombs. Fat Boy and Little Boy. Okay? Those figs look like those ancient bombs of World War II. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And people might say, I don't know who Idumea is. Idumea is a Greek word to say Edom. So my question is, what is a Greek word doing in the Old Testament, which is supposed to be written in Hebrew? And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So let's look at Edom, Idumea, right? To see if I'm correct. Is the Edomites, right? The so-called Caucasian people of today. Idumea, Edom, right?
Strong's H123.
Edom, right? Edom, red. Edomite, Idumean, descendants of Esau, land of Edom, land south of Palestine, right? But what has happened that the Edomites are in control of the whole planet Earth. Doesn't it say that they will live by the sword and by the fatness will they gain everything? Edom, the elder twin brother of Jacob, hence the region Idumea. Edom, the son of Isaac, Jacob, elder twin brother, more often called Esau. The descendants of Edom, the nation of the Edomites or Idumea, okay? So it's talking about the people, okay? And remember this verse because it's going to be mentioning it. Remember, in the end days, these people are going to be ruling. They're the fourth beast that's mentioned in the book of Daniel. The fourth beast would be the Roman Empire, which the Romans are Caucasians. Okay? Let's deal with this. Remember, the world was given to the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. So, the Lord is going to come judge these nations. He's going to slaughter these people, especially the nation of Edom. Okay? And let's explain why. Okay? Why will the Lord allow this to happen? Well, he explains this. And let's read it in Joel chapter 3. Because he's going to say all through his prophets, the mouthpiece. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, southern kingdom and northern kingdom. I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay, who's in the land right now? The so-called Edomites. Okay, you can read that in Ezekiel 36 and 5. And the Israelites were dispersed because of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, right? Because they got auctioned off. We're the first commodity in the stock exchange. Okay, so-called slaves, so-called Israelites. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and have sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yeah, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? And Tyre and Zidon are ancient Canaanite ports. Obviously, Tyre and Zidon would be modern day Libya. Okay, but it's talking about the Canaanites in those areas, which are so-called today Africans, right? That's what he's talking about, Tyre and Zidon. And all the coast of Palestine, okay? Because who's living in Palestine? These so-called Arabs. They're called Palestinians, right? And Palestinians, remember, these Arabs or these sons of Ishmael are not Palestinians. Palestinian was a derogatory term talking about the Philistines, because the Philistines are Canaanites, the number one enemy of the Israelites at that time. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your head. Verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, okay, because you have taken the children of Israel, okay, both northern and southern kingdom, the gold and silver, and ye have carried them into the temples of my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, okay? Or some verses says the Greeks. Who are the Greeks? We just read that the Lord is going to come in indignation to Edom, okay? The original Greeks, you know, the line of Alexander, the rough goat, okay, are Idumeans, are Edomites, are those Caucasian people. That's what is being mentioned once again. That ye might remove them far from their borders. So they mentioned the Canaanites, they mentioned the Arabs, and the so-called Caucasian man. This is what you would call the transatlantic slave trade here. Okay? Behold, I will raise them out of the places whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your head. So now it's time for payback. It's time for payback, because the Lord, remember, the Lord says vengeance is mine. Well, he's explaining why he's going to get vengeance, okay? Because you've sold his people. And now the Lord is going to get his judgment. Okay, verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters. So you Christians, you Catholics, you Jehovah's Witnesses of the other nations that are not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, your children are going to be sold. Your children are going to be auctioned off in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, this is what the Lord is saying. This is not what I'm saying. This is what the Lord is saying about the other nations, the real Gentiles. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah. Okay, this is prophecy. Not happened yet, but it will. And they shall sell them to the Sabians, which are other Africans, to a people far off, for Yahweh has spoken. So we're going to have a transatlantic slave trade per se. We're gonna put you Chinese, you Caucasians, you Arabs, you East Indians into slave ships and being sold to the four corners of the wind. Remember, this is the Lord saying these things. Okay? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. But wait a minute, I thought the Gentiles were being saved. But the Lord's saying he's going to sell all these rugrats of the Gentiles, of these heathens, of these pagans. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. What's happening as we speak? Israel and Iran, or so-called Persia, are going to war. This is the beginning of World War III, where all nations are going to get involved. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right, because Iran 30 years ago was being pushed around by America. And Iran didn't have the power, didn't have the submarines, hadn't the capability. But now, the weak say, I'm strong. Okay? Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, all the Gentiles, okay? And gather yourselves together round about, thither causing thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which would be the so-called Middle East area, right? For there will I sit to judge all the heathens round about. But wait a minute. Aren't the Gentiles going to be in the kingdom of heaven? But the Lord is saying he's going to sell their kids and he's going to judge them. There's going to be piles of dead bodies everywhere. Where is the love? Verse 13. Put ye the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, and the harvest is the end of the world. Okay, according to Matthew 13. Come ye, get ye down, get down, for the press is full. Right, because this is the analogy that he's using in Isaiah 63. That he's going to stomp out these grapes. He's going to stomp out these Edomites, right? This is not the first time that he's stomping the grapes. For the press is full and the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes and multitudes in the valley of decision, Yahweh Shaphat, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And there you are, brothers and sisters. This is why the Lord is bringing this end war to end wars, to bring the end of the society, because he loves you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and he's going to get vengeance for us. See, there's the amount of hate that the Lord has for these people and what he's going to do to them. He's going to reverse our position. We're about to be trading places. What does it say? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So if you've been first in this society, you're about to be last. If you've been last here in America or all over the world, get ready to be the first. Okay? That's as easy as that. Trading places. The world is going to be under new management. Okay? Isn't it said in your laws that ye are gods? That's it, brothers and sisters. Know that the Lord is coming with his legions of angels to kick some ass. And kick some ass for you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that no one has loved, that no one has stood up for, even as we speak. They are hunting our steps because we are the Israelites. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baruch Atham, Rakah Kedash, and he that have ears let him hear. Shalom.